Okay, well, hello there, VV Nation. Welcome to this very special presentation. This is going to be an event that you're going to be glad that you didn't miss in case of this webcast, but also an upcoming event that you certainly do not want to miss, that's for sure. Heck, what we want you to do is bring a friend, watch the live stream with them if you have to do that, whatever the case may be, because this is an event that can change lives, change your life, change their life, and we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Because that's the business we're in. We're in the business of changing lives through making money in the stock market. And so the number one question I think everyone's going to have, first and foremost, is why bother? Why bother going live? Why bother going to the event at all, right? Well, quite simply, to better secure your or their financial future, whether that's going to be just put the kids through school or, live the quality retirement lifestyle of your dreams, whatever that is for you as or them, as an individual, that's ultimately going to be the reason to go. Because if you get there, we can show you how to do all this. We're going to give you some insight into that as we go through this very webcast. And so, the other answer being for many of us who have gone before you, either as instructors or attendees, I think what we would share with you is what we wanted to do was make sure that you're doing better than just ordinary average market returns. I mean, that's the name of the game. And so ultimately, that's why you want to go. You want to make sure that you can beat the market. Otherwise, why not just buy a little piece of the S&P every month, which is the traditional conventional wisdom. And so we know that if we can get you to this event, we can show you how. We can show you how not only can you beat the S&P, you can beat the pants off of it. I've made a habit of that myself here as of late. So anyway, we're going to talk more about that as we go, because ultimately what we want you to do is have results like this, and just not ordinary average returns, but literally life-changing potential returns. And so there's going to be multiple ways to get there. We're going to talk a little bit about that as we go. But the main thing we want to make sure that we tackle is eliminating the problem. And the problem is, particularly these days, just being inundated with all kinds of information, most of which is not even useful, right? And the filter on what's useful and what's not is where the problems begin. And what VectorVest does a really good job of is eliminating distractions and getting you focused in on what is actually the useful information. And so that helps us avoid that big mistake of finding value in a lot of complication and ultimately a lot of noise. And to be able to cut through that and fix it and follow things that are simple, a simple proven plan, and the ability to stick to it is really what's going to dictate your results at the end of the day, at the end of the year, and at the end of the next 10 years. And so what we want to do is we want to get you to this event, whether it's live or live stream, either one. And we'll talk a little bit about the differences there as we get to the end. But let me first just go through some of the core content. I'm not going to teach any of the techniques because that's what the 2 days is for, but just give you a little feel for, particularly if you've never been to a 2-day event, what it's all about. So we are going to be presenting different ways that you can use VectorVest to make the right decision for you as a particular individual. And so for many of us, when we're just getting started, Successful Investor is the right venue because this is the core concepts. This is VectorVest at its absolute simplest in terms of, hey, I just want to make 15% a year or so year on year. And I realize that means I'm basically doubling my investment account every 3 years on average, which is moving, and that's certainly enough to change your life, given enough time to do so. But it's also just a great place to really understand VectorVest from a grassroots perspective, from the ground up. Because as we go on and we start to get into retirement services and we start to then layer in dividend income on top of the capital appreciation, we start to lay in options income. Because dividends, let's face it, at least these days, what's the average yield now? 2.5%, 3% is great, It's the days of the 12 and 15 percenters. By and large, that's actually a pretty good thing that those days are gone, but they're not here anymore. You can't get all the way to grandma's house just with dividend income. So, you got to supplement that. And we're going to show ways that you can do that while you're at the course as well. On top of that, some of you might want to kick the ball or the notch up even further. And that is, you want to shoot for 30, 40% annualized rates of return. And Jerry and I have been able to do that. And we're now showing people live with real dollars that we can do it. I need to update this slide because both of us finished just shy of 40% at the end of we were within like a 0.2% of one another, running two independent portfolios, running the same techniques, and ended up in the 39s. Okay. But, this is swing trading, and this is going to be trading from days to weeks, not months to years. And so, we do a lot more transactions, but that's what gives us the ability to grow things even quicker. And so you'll be able to see some of our favorite techniques while you're at this show as well. On top of that, we are going to be presenting not just this one, but 3 different ETF complete trading systems. So whether you want no leverage, you want some leverage, or you want as much leverage as you can stomach, we're going to have this one on the screen happens to be the one that controls triple leverage, so the returns get pretty dramatic pretty quickly, but it's robust. It did really well this past year. It just keeps on working, and so it's a very, very good trading system, and one that I think has a very, very bright future because it really, all these systems pick on the NASDAQ, and the NASDAQ is the future. Okay. On top of that, we'll be very fortunate again to have Stan Heller communicate in, and he's going to be going through even some latest developments on the NPI charting setup that we like to use to try to find some really, really big winners via cherry picking. It's a dynamic charting package, and there's more than one way to utilize it, from a more aggressive to a much more conservative standpoint, and Stan will really lay all that out, at the workshop. But it's really good. It's simple to interpret. It's very visual, and so people who like the visual aspect of trading will really get into the NPI. All right. So on top of that, we talked a little bit about options already. This is, if you've never seen one before, this is a diagram of a credit spread. Okay, and it's a little blurry. But since we're making money when the stock prices go up, it should be a bull put. Okay. But we'll walk through some of the finer points of how these are implemented and even managed. And Ron Wheeler is going to be with us again. He's going to be showing how to do this on one symbol for the whole year, and how to get terrific results just trading one symbol, one strategy all year long. All right, so let's talk just quickly a little bit more about the event. We are right at the Tampa Airport Marriott. The venue is right inside the airport itself, which makes it extremely convenient. Maybe not so much if you're a local. Yeah, I grew up in Tampa. It's easy to get to, of course. There's the getting parked and all that stuff. But having said that, it's still very easy to get to one way or the other. But for those of us flying in, it's as easy as possible. So you literally just pick your bags up, go back up the elevator, walk down a corridor, and you're there. It's a wonderful event, wonderful staff, wonderful place, and there's lots of really cool stuff to do that's not too far away. And if anybody is traveling in and is looking for some activities to do outside of the event, I'll be willing to definitely share some of those insights with you while you're at the show. Morning of day one. I don't want to just go talk by talk and really drag this thing out. I think the best thing to do is just say, hey, look, morning of day one, it's all about successful investor. There's some really cool, catchy titles here and everything. And we always have a little different bend on how we present the information. And folks tell us we just get better each time they see us come do it, So this year is like no other before. It's the same content. We're going to present it in a slightly different way, but maybe the best way yet. And it's all about successful investor. And the core content never changes. It's just, kind of how it's framed and presented to you. And in terms of the afternoon of day one, it's really getting just a little bit more, it's building, on that morning segment. It's just taking things up another notch. And so here again, we're going to get into retirement, and we're also going to get into using VectorVest for you as an individual. How can I take this if I'm an aggressive investor? How can I just take this platform and without any coaching or anything like that, how can I just take it and make money with it? If I'm prudent, how do I just take the platform and make money with it? If I'm conservative, how do I just take the platform and make money with it? And so there's going to be opportunities to get more involved with the actual coaches themselves. There's also going to be teaching that you can just take the blueprint and go. Pretty cool. Sound good? All right. Morning of day two, it's going to be all about ETFs. And, we'll sprinkle in that income trade from Ron, one symbol, one trade, one set of rules for income. When we get into the afternoon, Stan rounds things out with that MPI, latest developments there. And I've seen his slides, best set of presentation slides I've seen from him yet. Looks like he's got a little bit of a new angle in there as well, which I think is also really cool. And then, we just kind of wrap a bow on the event. We do have a special presentation. We always like to make some important announcements and things like that around special presentation time. And we are going to have a huge amount of staff here. And so I'm super excited about that. You might see some of our international folks on site. I'll be there. Jerry D'Ambrosio will be teaching. Todd Schaefer will be there. Ray Clark, of course, will be there. And we are very, very hopeful and optimistic to see both Susan Hayes and Rick coming down from Canada, and Susan from Europe. Okay, and so huge staff. Linda, of course, will be there, I believe. We can't never say for sure. There was the one year where I got COVID, for example, and I thought I was going, but didn't end up actually being there. But I've been fortunate enough to make 22 of the last 25. And hopefully this will be another one. I'll just say this, guys. Look, you saw the results. I mean, we're going to show you bona fide techniques that make 15% a year on year for the last 10 years running, all the way up to 40% or more year on year. And even with real dollars live, Jerry and I are doing it live in front of customers. Okay. Every single day. So here's the deal. Abraham Lincoln said, give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I'd spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe. What does that mean? That means if I were you, I would think about taking 2 days out of your busy lifestyle. And I know when we get, even in retirement, my dad's never been busier, he tells me. Well, I don't care. Take 2 days out of your busy lifestyle to set yourself up for success for the rest of your life. That's a far better deal than trying to chop down a tree with only 4 hours to get your axe sharp, okay? 2 days for the rest of your life. That's a trade-off everybody should not skip out on. There's no excuse. It doesn't make sense to. Particularly when you look at it like this. It is $95 to go. That does not cover the food that we feed you. $95 to go live doesn't even cover the food. This day and age, you ought to see what a telecast AV package looks like. Okay? The $95 is to make sure you go. Folks, there is now less than 20% of the room space left for butts in seats. There is 7 weeks to go. It will sell out. If you're going to go to this event and you want to go live and you want to hang out with some of our power users, you want to mingle with the coaches, you want to ask as many questions as you can, $95, do it now. Do not delay. Do not be the person that calls up and said, nope, sorry, we're full. Okay? Don't do that. Final thing is, many of us are truly busy. There's no possible way we can get there. Most of that is excuses, but some absolutely can't, right? If you can't get there, then what you do is you do it free. Online, VectorVest.com/stream. Sign up for it now. I don't care if you're on a portable device, unless you're driving down the highway, then you can wait. I don't want to get anybody into trouble here, but do not delay. Sign up. That way you're going to get the reminders and you're going to get there. What you don't want to do is put things on hold. Well, when a couple hours from now, don't do that. Just sign up now. Make sure you put yourself in a position to actually do this event. Nice thing about the live stream, everything's going to be recorded. The way we've done this in the past is if you renew your annual subscription, and some of you might have already been renewed from last year, you're going to have access to the recordings for up to 1 full year. Okay. So, assuming that you, through the event, whether it be vis-a-vis last year, since we postponed the event into February of this, we're taking care of those folks that want to go ahead and auto renew as part of their deal and not lose out on the money. Because we offer special prices at the event. Okay. Now, whether that's live stream or live and in person, everybody gets a special price offer. If you do an annual, you'll have access to the recording for up to 1 year. Okay. All right. So that's all of the details, and that's as strong a push as I can make, because I can teach you how to do it. I can show you that I'm doing it. I can get on there every single day until I'm blue in the face showing people how to make money. The only thing that I cannot do, and I never will be able to do, is make you want to do it. I'm going to try my darndest. I'm going to do my best to inspire. I'm going to do my best to do everything I can to make sure that we do have the opportunity to change your life if we haven't already. Okay? But I can't make you want to do it. That's the only thing we can't do. Jerry can't do it. I can't do it. Glenn couldn't do it. You've got to want to do it. If you want to do it, we will show you how. You're seeing me do it live in real dollars in a trading room right now. And get to the event, okay? Get to the event. Get to the event. I'm going to see if there's any questions, but just everybody, thanks for being here. A couple things, just housekeeping. I'm going to send out the links. So if you want to attend live and in person, that'll be the first link coming out into GoToWebinar. For those of you that are on YouTube, you guys know how to get all this stuff done. You're just going to go to VectorVest.com/Tampa, okay? VectorVest.com/Tampa, that's for the $95 offer live and in person. If you're going to do the stream, If you're going to do the stream, then you want to go to VectorVest.com/stream. Somehow I got all the way back to the beginning of the slide deck. And then I'll look at some of these questions, but let me get this out into the chat here really quick. A couple of links. So that's for the, that one there with Tampa, that's again for the $95 you're going to attend in person, okay? This one here is for the free stream, okay? So that'll go out. All right, and I'll see if there's any questions here, and then we'll wrap things up. All right, yeah, sorry, we might have had some audio issues early. Sorry about that, guys. But you didn't miss anything. Let's see. Is this any different than Vegas? Yes. But only, not everything will be brand new. There's always a new wrinkle. There's always a new wrinkle in there. Okay. So I put the links out into the chat for the sign up. Okay, Andrew, you should be there. But all you got to do is let me go to the end here for the stream. All you gotta do is go to that site right there, okay? VectorVest.com/stream. It's on the screen right now. All right, let's see. that's that. Yeah, I don't see any other questions. All right, guys, thanks for being here today, and hopefully we see you in Tampa. I'm looking forward to it. Looks like a bunch of people are fired up. That's great to see, and we'll see you guys there. Okay, see you soon. Good luck.